we'll just get straight to the point. Was he injured or not?
Who?
Charles, in your first fight. That's the big rumor, right?
I don't know. I believe there's one of the MMA guys did a follow up with him, and I swear, call me crazy, but I swear in the write up it said nothing was wrong. So that's what I'm going off of.
Do you think maybe, listen, I'm being serious, do you think maybe Charles did sort of not conjure up an injury to save face in that fight, but do you think maybe he wasn't as injured as he's saying? What is your takeaway from him saying there's an injury and that's why the fight ended?
I think he had an injury for sure in that area. I think it might have felt like he re-injured it in the moment, and he's just taking precautions, but it is what it is. The beautiful thing, that thing happened ages ago. I'm so over it, bro. It is what it is, and we get to find out here on the 9th Island, March 7th, for the BMF title, so I'm just blessed to be in this position.
I feel like this is one of those fights where everyone's going to talk about the first fight and stuff like that, but it did, as you said, happen so long ago. You two are completely different, especially I feel like Charles is very different from what he was back then. When you look at your game and how it's evolved and his game and how it's evolved, who do you think's added more to your repertoires?
I don't know. Charles is always known as a jiu-jitsu guy, and he's still being that jiu-jitsu guy. He did get his striking better. Overall, I would probably have to say that people would probably think Charles probably grew more just because he's actually showing his striking now versus I'm not going out there submitting people. So to the naked eye, to the regular fan, I'm guaranteed they're going to say, no, hey, Charles got way better. Look at his striking. You're just striking all the time. So that's what I would say.
It's an interesting one, right? Because, listen, you're a BMF champion, very much worthy of it. You're the one who gave the BMF title its balls, basically, and made it worth winning. But you won that real world title,
for sure. Of course.
So when you see the fight that's happening for the interim, I feel like, no disrespect to those guys, you could have been more deserving for an interim shot. Yeah. So was that ever approached to you, and were you kind of like, I don't mind defending the BMF, but I really want that?
It is what it is, you know what I mean? Am I going to sit here and go on top of my YouTube channel and cry about not getting it? Hell no, it is what it is. This is the UFC. If you guys haven't noticed already, it's a business, and the business is going to keep on going with or without you. So you just got to go out there and get your name. Even with this BMF title, right? Like how you said, there's a lot of people who is like shedding on this BMF title straight up. Clowning, saying this, and all those guys is calling me out now for it. So at the end of the day, jokes on them. With the title, it's cool. I don't care. As long as I'm gonna focus on me. If I can go out there, get my hand raised, I can put my name in the mix, and that's all I can do. Until the UFC calls me for that shot, we'll be ready when they do.
A little bit surprised Ilia Topuria is taking time off, or maybe potentially moving to welterweight right after he moved to lightweight.
It is what it is, and if it's what it said, I actually reached out to him.
True. I saw the Twitter actually.
Yeah. If it is what it is, I know how hard it is. You know what I mean? I unfortunately had to fight through that for a couple years now. You guys saw my post about me finally going through that. No one even knew I was going through it. They saw the aftermath of years of just court dates and lawyers and talking, and the only person who loses on that is the kids. So at the end of the day, I know how hard it is for a father. Shout out to Topuria trying to figure that out, and I hope he does. I hope he can come back. If it's him coming back at 170, it's him coming back at 170. But I got unfinished business, so maybe we go up to 172 when he gets that done.
How were you, listen, I don't want you to talk about too much because you're a very private guy, and rightfully so, it's a private subject, but how were you able to keep that out of the spotlight? How were you able to keep that battle away from the news cycle and everything like that? And how important was it for you to do that?
It's hard, especially with now. Everybody loves drama, super hard. I was glad that we did. And, and it was for my son, you know what I mean? Like, he's at an age where the kid is turning 14 next month. Wow. So it's
I remember him dancing with you in Toronto, right?
Yeah, so it's insane, So it was tough, bro. I really honestly can't tell you how we did it, but it did, and I was grateful for it. And, and like I said, it was all for my son. He actually he wanted it, and that's why we did it. And, at the end of the day, he's happy, so I'm happy.
That's the main thing. So with Charles Oliveira, you're going to go out there. You said last time, you said the time before, it's about making moments at this point in your career, right? Making moments and making yourself undeniable. When you look at Charles, listen, he does like to strike these days, and he doesn't necessarily like to move his head to left or right that much. So when you look at him, how do you see this fight, and where do you think you can make that moment?
I go out there, I fight my fight what I usually do. Just be myself, man. If I can find him, if I can touch him up, I feel like it can be a really good night for me. If I can add to the significant strike total, that'd be awesome for me for my career, you know. And there's a guy fighting this Saturday, Joshua Van. I just saw someone put out the stat that he has like 1,300 or 200 something. I'm like, mother.
He's been here for a couple of coffees.
Yeah, I mean, like mother effer is gonna probably get damn close or beat the shit out of the record. So I gotta add as much as I can before he goes and gets it.
I like that the BMF champion can't say motherfucker. You still have to say MF. Max, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.